Hey y'all, I'm back here with another video. Okay, so I have a lot of feelings, so we're just gonna jump right into this. But before we do, I want to say this. I really feel like my opinion on this entire situation is gonna differ from a lot of people, and that's okay. We all have our own opinions. Just be respectful in my comments. That's all I ask. So let's get to it. Okay, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And also the reason I didn't review this last week is because when I went on demand Thursday, I have Xfinity. The episode was not up, and normally it's always up the next day, and it was not, and so it was confusing to me. But I'm gonna just go ahead and record it again. But anyway, so all right, so we started off right where we left off last week. Okay, so last week we left off with Garcelle asking Erica, about, is it okay if I share the whole thing with, you saying that you called Tom and stuff. And like I said last week, I do not think that Garcelle should have asked that, but I don't think that she was trying to be messy when she did it. That is my opinion. Now, y'all know Erica went and she cried, da da da. So when we come back to this episode, Erica has now come back into the room and stuff like that. And mind you, I'm gonna drag the fuck out of Lisa Rinna, like for real, for real. She comes back, sits down next to Lisa Rinna, and Lisa is like, holding her and stuff like that. And she was like, it's okay, that's so fucked up. So Garcelle is like me and hears Lisa say that, and she's like, you want to know what? I'm out of here. So she gets up and she starts to leave and stuff. So Kathy Hilton comes over and she was like, don't leave. And she was like, no, because y'all not going to try to make it seem like I did this shit on purpose, which is what Dorit and Lisa in particular did. I'm not going to say Kyle, but Dorit and Lisa in particular kept pushing it throughout this episode, trying to make it seem like Garcelle did that shit purposefully to make her mad or to what the fuck ever. So then Garcelle comes and sits down or whatever, and she apologizes like profusely to Erica. She says it multiple times, like, I'm sorry, I would never try to do that. She comes over and she sits in front of her and she's like, that was not my intention, And Erica, hugs her and she was like, it's okay, like, you don't have to leave, like, it's okay. So then Kyle nosy ass, because all this episode really just honed into the fact is that Kyle, Lisa, and Dorit, I mean, everybody is nosy, but like Kyle is super, super, super fucking nosy. So is Lisa, so is Dorit. Like, y'all are some really nosy ass bitches, because this is exactly what y'all did last fucking season, but we'll get to it. So Kyle is like, well, there's obviously something else going on, and Sutton ended up saying the same thing too, like, I don't think that her problem is with Garcelle, which I think that part in particular was obvious, that there was obviously something else going on top of that. So Erica was just like, I'm just gonna leave, because I have like a lot of stuff I gotta handle, so I'm just gonna leave anyway. So Lisa, Kyle, and Dorit follows Erica outside. So Garcelle is sitting inside with Sutton and Crystal is like, again, she was like, I know that you didn't mean to do that. You wasn't there when she said don't talk about it. You know what I mean? And then Garcelle's pretty much like, I can feel the divide in this group. Like, why is it only 3 of us sitting in here and the rest of them is outside? Like, I feel like there's a purpose. Like, there's a divide in this group, obviously. And pretty much, like, all of them girls was probably out there, like, probably talking shit. Garcelle didn't say that, but that's pretty much what she was getting to. So Lisa goes outside. While Lisa's outside with Erica, she was like, I don't understand why she would do that. Like, I don't even understand the point. So then the girls say goodbye to Erica. All of the girls come back inside. So Lisa Rinna has the fucking audacity, I'm going to be cursing a lot, has the fucking audacity to sit in that room and ask Garcelle, I want to know why you would do that right now. Like, I don't really think that was serious. That wasn't really necessary. Are you fucking serious, Rinna? All season, last season, I dragged the ever-living shit out of you, Teddy, Kyle, and everybody else, including Erica, who wanted to jump in on this Denise Richards thing. I am so confused on how the fuck Lisa Rinna is now on a high horse about minding people's business and letting them open up and not asking questions when, like Bravo did for us, ran the tape back 15 times about how all fucking last season, Lisa, all you did last season was question Denise nonstop about her personal business. That's what you fucking did. Sorry, somebody was calling me. All you did last season was sit up there and question another grown woman about what was going on in her motherfucking bedroom. But you want to sit up here and ask Garcelle why she asked that? You're not the person that, this is the thing. It's a valid question, but you're not the person to ask. That's the thing. You're not the person to ask that question. You're not the fucking person to ask that fucking question. So then Dorit jumps in and Dorit's like, if it was just me, you know, I wouldn't have said anything because, you know, she said don't say anything. And Crystal was like, she was not there when she said that. Oh, she wasn't there. Dorit, are you not fucking paying attention? Pay the fuck attention. Crystal said it 14 times in front of everybody. Yes, Erica said she didn't want to talk about it, but Garcelle was not around when she said that. Y'all just want, I swear to God, that the whole first like 10 minutes of this episode was really driving me up the wall, because here y'all go again, trying to pick one person and make them out to be the villain. Garcelle is not the villain in this situation. Was it not the right time? Should she have brought it up? No. But y'all are not going to sit on this TV and try to make it seem and frame it as if Garcelle was trying to do that shit on purpose, to be messy, to pretty much hurt the girl feelings, when that was not the case. And Garcelle brought up an excellent point like she did last week when somebody asked her, why did you bring it up? Because when I came in this house, the rest of you hoes shared with me, without Erica's knowledge, okay, that she told y'all that her husband was cheating on her and that all of these accidents. So I didn't think that that one small thing would be that big of a deal. Again, should the Garcelle have brought it up? No. But I could understand where she was coming from. I don't understand how, like even Kyle said, well, Tom calling you really isn't that big of a deal. Right, exactly. But wouldn't the allegations and her admitting that Tom cheated on her be a much bigger deal than the whole phone thing? So what the fuck is wrong? So once Garcelle leaves and stuff like that, Lisa is like, why? I just don't understand. Like, why would you keep asking her questions? Like, you've asked her enough questions. And so Bravo shows the questions that Garcelle asked. So I don't understand. Like, you should just let her open up. Why so many questions? Again, Lisa Rinna, are you fucking serious? Bravo, run the tape the fuck back of all last season. Not just that, but take it outside of Denise. When Kim was on this show, you walking around asking Kim nonstop, is she an alcoholic? Is she still drinking? When Yolanda was on this fucking show, you was sitting up here asking her all of these questions. Lisa, all you do is be in people's business left and right. But now all of a sudden, everybody needs to leave Erica alone. And I don't understand the difference. I'm going to tell you what the real difference between Garcelle and the rest of you hoes is I find it very interesting that the minute that Erica leaves, all of you hoes, and I'm talking about Lisa, Kyle, Dorit, Sutton, Kathy, all of you hoes, all y'all been doing since y'all been on this damn trip is every time Erica is not around, y'all sit in a circle and y'all run y'all motherfucking mouth. So I am so confused how it's, so let me get this right. So it's okay to talk shit about Erica behind her back, talk shit about her husband behind her back, but it's not okay for Garcelle to straight up and down to her face ask questions that she has. I'm a little confused. The difference is that Garcelle is more direct about the shit that she has to ask versus y'all hoes. Y'all sit in Erica's face and act like y'all give a fuck, act like y'all really care, when behind closed doors, y'all are sitting up there talking about her. All of those questions that y'all be talking about amongst each other and all the that y'all doing, y'all don't do that shit when Erica's there. So I find it very funny that it's a problem for Garcelle to be direct to Erica, to her face, about the shit that she be talking about amongst y'all, but y'all don't want to do that. And get the entire fuck out of here. Okay? And so like I said, Garcelle talks about how there's a divide between the two girls. And I'm like, yeah, because Dorit, Kyle, and Lisa are messy as fuck. They're messy. So then it's time for dinner. Dorit comes down. Normally, y'all know I like Dorit, but Dorit looked like a hot ass mess. She looked a mess. Where the fuck was you going? Like Kathy said, so you got dressed like that just to sit in the house? Yeah, okay. So, and again, I'm confused. So, because, where is it at? Oh, no, we'll talk about that later. Again, so Lisa wants to talk about people minding their own business, all of this. But Sutton comes downstairs with this nice-ass fucking bracelet. And you gonna ask her, oh, is it real? Is it real? The same shit that y'all complain about what Garcelle does, about her being direct, but you can do it. Okay, so I see obviously we're holding Garcelle as normal. We're holding the black woman to a different standard than everybody else. Awesome, great. Same thing y'all doing with Crystal. Awesome, great. Let's move on. So they get to dinner, and Garcelle and you know, Crystal come and stuff. So they're talking about Erica and the whole situation that happened, and Kyle says, you know, I know that's why I'm not counting Kyle in the whole thing about I'm not, although I'm saying Kyle's name, I am not counting Kyle amongst the group of people who said that she did that on purpose, because Kyle didn't say that. She said to Garcelle, she was like, you know, I know that you didn't mean to come from a bad place. I know it wasn't on purpose or anything, but just know Erica probably won't trust you anymore. That part I can agree with. I highly doubt Erica will probably ever tell Garcelle anything again, which that's fine, because I also stand on what I said last week is I don't understand how that was supposed to be so much of a secret when you said it on camera. You said it with a mic pack on Erica. It's not like you and Garcelle had a private conversation off of camera with no cameras around about that. You did it on TV with the mic pack on. So that's just the way that I look at that, but okay, whatever. But I do believe that Erica probably will never trust Garcelle. And I think she did trust Garcelle and Crystal more than the rest of them, because she knows that Garcelle and Crystal are not as messy as the rest of you hoes. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So Lisa says to Garcelle, so I just want to know, like, are you gonna own it? Are you gonna own it? And then in her confessional was like, honestly, Garcelle just needs to check herself, okay? Because she doesn't have your back, and that's what I want people to understand. Let me move on, because I've really, the rant that I have in my spirit. And I'm gonna try to do this calmly. Lisa, again, you don't have the first of all, you don't tell another grown woman that she needs to check herself. That's what you don't do. That's number one. Number two, I literally said this in almost every episode I did last season. Lisa Rinna is nobody's friend. You are nobody's friend. Every single person that came on, this is now the second person that came on this show that was supposed to be your friend more than anybody, and you turned on them. Denise came on this show when you and Garcelle was the closest people to Denise, knew her the longest. And the minute some shit came up about Denise, you threw her ass under the bus. Same thing with Garcelle. Garcelle do one thing that the girls kind of look at sideways, and you throw Garcelle under the bus. So let me tell you something. You're not to be trusted. You have nobody's back. You are friends for convenience, Lisa Rinna. Let's get that right. You are nobody's friend. And I don't understand how we can all see how Garcelle held Denise down last season into this one, and you say that she's nobody's friend and she doesn't have anybody back. Garcelle was the only person last season who had Denise back, when, to be quite honest, both of them was outnumbered by the rest of you hoes. And Garcelle still stood 10 toes down with Denise the same way she did this motherfucking season. The same way it seems like to me how she's gonna have Erica's back the rest of this season, because I've seen scenes where she was like, look, Erica is my friend at the end of the day, and what I'm not gonna do is come down on her when she's at her lowest. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm a little bit confused, because from everything I've seen so far, Lisa, you're nobody's friend. You have nobody's back. You do shit out of convenience. You do shit for a fucking storyline. You did it to Lisa Vanderpump. You did it to Denise. You did it to Kim. You did it to everybody who was your supposed friend. You have thrown under the bus for convenience and just to be a part of the fucking mailing group. That's what you've done. So don't you ever get on this TV and sit up there and say, when Garcelle has obviously shown us that she has been on here 1.5 seasons and shown us that she is a better friend than you have in God knows how many seasons you've been on this show. We're not, but like I said, I don't agree with Garcelle bringing that shit up, but let me tell you, but Lisa, you're the wrong messenger, bitch. You have no clearance. And like I said, Garcelle brought up exactly what I brought up, which is, in her confessional, which is, Lisa, you got your nerve when, look at how you treated Denise last year. And that's just on period. So Dorit, again, trying to jump in and be in the fucking peanut gallery section, because Dorit has no storyline this fucking season. Like, she almost never had. You know, I love Dorit. Lord knows I love Dorit down. But Dorit literally kind of falls into Teddy's place because she doesn't fucking have a storyline either. So she jumps in and she was like, well, I don't think you did it on purpose or anything. And I don't think he was trying to be mean. I do think he was like needling at her, you know, to try to get, and Garcelle had to cut her off. Stop. No, the fuck I was not. And I love Garcelle when she was like, bitch, I don't really have to sit up here and defend myself against you, to none of you hoes, because I know the type of person that I am. So my conscience is clear. I know for a fact I did not ask her that question to mess with her, to fuck with her. I'm not trying to put her down more than she already is. And I was like, I know that's right, Garcelle. Don't. So then Lisa says, I want you to make me understand. Make me understand. Before she even got any further, Lisa, again, similar to Denise's situation, who the fuck are you that anybody has to make you understand anything? Nobody has to explain anything to you. And I'm going to talk about Kyle, because Kyle kept getting on my damn nerves about this later too. Nobody has to explain anything to you. Nobody. She was like, I just want to understand, you know, just make me understand. So Garcelle was like, you know, I overstepped. And Lisa, she's like, oh my gosh, okay, good. Again, Lisa, who the fuck are you? The only person that Garcelle needs to explain herself to is Erica, because that's the person's feelings that she hurt. You are nobody that Garcelle needs to sit here in front of and explain to you why she did what she did. Who the fuck are you? I am tired of this, the entitlement that Lisa and Kyle in particular has about knowing about other people's lives, what they do, how they do, when they do it. You bitches might as well just be TMZ and start up your own damn blog situation, because the entitlement that you hoes have about knowing about somebody else's life is a little bit too much for me. Where the fuck are we on time? Okay, let's keep on. So then everybody sits down at the table together. And so they're like, oh, you want to play a game? Kathy's like, let's play a game. And everybody's like, anytime game starts, it's going to be a fucking issue. So Kathy brings up to Sutton. She was like, oh, I heard that somebody had a problem with the fact that you said that you don't see color. So Sutton doesn't say anything. And Kathy goes, well, me and Michael Jackson, we grew up together, and he told me, you know, Kathy, I don't see color. And I said, I don't see color too. Kathy, this is where you lost me right here. Sis, we've been here, but this is where you lost me. That gives straight, I have a black friend vibes. So because my one black friend said he doesn't see color, I don't see why it's a problem, because my one black friend said that. And let's not get into the, if y'all really, somebody like Kathy Hilton, you don't even have the, as rich as you are and all this, you don't have the capacity to even deal with Michael Jackson in particular and his, I don't even want to say his adjacent, but you don't have the breadth, the fortitude, the understanding to really even delve into Michael Jackson and his appearance and him being black. You don't have, the knowledge ain't there. Michael Jackson is the wrong. First of all, I don't give a fuck if the Farrakhan said that to you. I don't give a fuck who said it to you. That's one fucking black person. And I'm so tired. We keep telling, I don't even want to go there because I'm just going to fucking get a headache, because Dorit did the same thing later. So, Dorit is like, well, I don't understand, because Garcelle's like, you know, that whole mode of I don't see color, it's outdated. Like, I get that you're trying to say that, because Kyle jumps in and she's like, well, she's just trying to say that she sees everybody equal. And okay, and like Garcelle said, I get that, but we're not. And Dorit was like, well, why not? Well, I'm confused. We are all equal. We are all equal. And Crystal and Garcelle said, because Crystal mostly was like, that's that in dream world, yes, but in reality, that's not the case. So just because that's what y'all would like it to be, that's not my everyday reality. And I'm tired of actually having to keep talking about this, because I have to talk about it here, I have to talk about it in Real Housewives of New York, and I'm tired of trying to explain the same shit over and over and over again. We do not, like ourselves, live in a colorblind fucking world. When y'all see my skin, y'all don't see I'm black. I am black. And it's okay to see that I'm black. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with it is when you subscribe certain stereotypes and certain things that, you know, mostly like, you know, stereotypes and negative things associated with my color. That's where the issue comes in. But there's nothing wrong with saying that Garcelle is a black woman, because she is. The same way Kathy Hilton is a white woman. The same way Crystal is an Asian woman. It's okay. That's what makes us all different. So Derek says, well, you know, I'm glad I wasn't brought up in a household, you know, where we was told that people are different, you know. And I have, you know, brown people and black people, all of those people who work at my house, you know, and they help me all over the place. And to be quite honest, you know, like, my kids, they love, like, dark-skinned people, you know what I mean? And Garcelle asked the right question, because, bitch, I was thinking the same thing. She was like, so it's the only black people that help, the only brown people that's in your house, they're only to help? And Doreen was like, oh my gosh, no. And the only thing that she could think to say is, my mom's best friend is black. You didn't even say your own friend was black. You didn't even say to read, well, I have friends that are black. And the reason why Garcelle asked that, if anybody is confused, is because Dorit specifically said, I have brown and black people that work at my house and that help me. She did not say, I have a diverse group of friends that I have a diverse, you know, group of friends, and, you know, I have friends that are black, white, Asian, in between, and my kids are around that and they see that, so that type of thing doesn't faze them. You in particular said, I have brown and black people that work for me, that help me. So if anybody was confused as to why Garcelle brought that up, that's why, because as I was thinking the exact same thing. So shout out to Garcelle. Garcelle be asking the right questions. So then the next morning happens, and the LA Times article drops. Sorry, y'all. About, I gotta see what fucking time is on here, y'all. Okay. The LA Times article drops about the, you know, the hustler and the housewife or whatever. I brought that documentary up 15 times, but it was an article that was on it. So, of course, everybody is out talking about it, and, you know, what is it? Kyle and Lisa, and then Sutton comes downstairs, because Sutton was upstairs reading the whole thing. So she comes downstairs and kind of gives them like a little, you know, brief tutorial. No, it's a brief tutorial. Little brief about some of the things that was said in there. And I'm not going to go over it, because everything that I told y'all about the documentary, I've said it in almost every video. That in the documentary, it shows the video of, you know, Tom being on deposition saying that he's broke, he doesn't have any money. I told y'all, if y'all, like I said, again, I'm plugging myself for the 15th time. If y'all want to know exactly how I feel about everything, go back and watch my The Hustle and Hustler, whatever, review that I did for the documentary. So I ain't gonna get into all that. So all of that stuff in there, I already knew, because, you know, watch the documentary, all that good shit. So, at this point in time, now I want to bring up, Sutton brings up how, you know, because everybody's like, well, is Erica liable? Erica's liable. Now this part, and again, okay, so I'm going to give y'all my background. I, in particular, I went to school, when I went to college, I went to school for business, and I also went to school for legal studies. I had 2 majors, okay? Went to school for 2 different majors, okay? Business and legal studies. Because of the fact that I went to school for both of those things, one of the many classes I had to take, and I had to take 3 of them, no, actually I had to take one every year, was business law, okay? So a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. A lot of times I get real irritated is because I feel like, and I'm not talking about Sutton, because Sutton knows what she's talking about, but I get irritated because it's very annoying. The most annoying thing about the internet is when people are talking about shit that they have absolutely no idea about. They've never studied on, they've never done any research. They literally read one article and now think that they know everything in the whole wide world. That shit annoys me. Now, Sutton is absolutely correct when she said, Erica, it will be liable, and this is correct, if it is proven that the money that Tom took and put into Erica's account was stolen from those people. Erica is liable to a degree, and I don't feel like breaking down how all of that works, because there's an LLC. I don't even got time to break into that. But she is liable to a degree for that, because of what Sutton says. That is correct. When you have an LLC, everything that goes into that bitch, you sign off on. Deposits, taking things out, change of business, organization structure, the articles of, you know, I forgot the articles of, you know, pretty much how the business is supposed to be structured. All of that shit, it is your responsibility. Your responsibility, right? Okay, so Sutton is correct when she says, if that $20 million was put in, the only way that Erica would be completely off the hook is if she didn't know that that $20 million was being put into her account. But if she does, she can be held to a certain degree, not fully, because it all depends on it. All of this depends on specific legal statutes. It depends on what the state, what the law in California is. It depends on a lot of things. So I hate that people are trying to make it seem like it's so clear cut when it's really not. If it was, this case would be over by now, and it is not. So she is correct when she said that Erica will be responsible to a degree for some of the money that went into her account, if it did indeed come from, you know, if a lot of that money was supposed to go into the victims. Absolutely, right? So they talk about that. So, they also talk about, you know, that Erica probably definitely had a heads up about the article, which is why she flipped out the night before. Erica absolutely knew about that article coming out. Absolutely. So then, like I said, all of the girls is talking about it, blah, 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 blah. Kyle is pretty much like, it's weird to have like 20 million, like if I had $20 million, like in a day or years, a couple years, like that would be weird to me. But that's weird to you, Kyle. I don't know how much money Kyle is worth or whatever the case may be, but the way Kyle talks about it, she obviously don't have nearly as much money as Tom Girardi does. Okay, to you, Kyle, that's kind of like me saying like this. That's kind of like saying like this. To Kyle, right, $1 million is probably nothing. So if $1 million is probably possibly taken out of Kyle's account, she probably, maybe not, she probably might look into it, but she might not like think too highly of it, because, you know, she probably got a lot of bills, a lot of different things she does. If $1 million is taken out of my motherfucking account, well, bitch, I'm gonna know down to the fucking cent what the fuck was taken out. Actually, let's not even go that high. Let's say $10,000. $10,000 is probably taken out of Kyle's checking account. Probably don't even pay that shit no attention, because $10,000 is nothing. If $10,000 come out of my motherfucking checking account, bitch, I'm doing a deep dive as to what the fuck happened. It's all relative to where you are and the amount of money that you make. So $20 million period is a lot of money. But to somebody like Tom, to somebody like Erica, it probably ain't a whole lot of fucking money. So that's pretty much what I'm saying. The only thing I did agree with Lisa this whole episode is this point right here, when she said, I highly doubt that Tom comes in and sits down with Erica every day and was like, hey, let me tell you about work, and this happened in this case, and then I took this money and I moved to here. She's like, I highly doubt that happens, because she's like, when Harry Hamlin be having something from me, the contract be on there, he just told me to sign it. Do I read it? No, because that's my husband. And I'm going to get on Sutton about that, because Sutton talked about that in a previous episode, and I'm going to bring that up at the very end. Again, let me make my stance very clear on this Erica situation. I do not believe that Erica knew that the money that she was getting was being siphoned off and taken from his clients. I do not believe that. I do, however, believe that Erica had a heads up about all of this shit, and the fact that all of these lawsuits was about to come and all of this shit was about to come rolling down, and then she filed for divorce. That is what I do believe. But do I believe that she knew in particular that the money that she was getting from her husband was being siphoned off and stolen money from these victims? No, I do not. And that's where I stand on that, and that's where I will always stand on that until I see something different. That's where I stand on that whole situation, period. So again, so Sutton pretty much was like, regardless, you know, it's going to be her responsibility. And then Bravo, you know, go ahead and rolls the footage of pretty much all of the money that, you know, Erica has spent throughout the years of being on the show, how lavish her lifestyle was, all of that other stuff. So the fun, bruh, this shit was funny as hell, because Dorit was like, you know, I've known her for 5 years. You've known her for 6 years, Kyle. You've known her for 6 years. Lisa and Kathy Hilton was like, I don't know her. Like, I just want to put it out there, like, don't try to come for me, because, bitch, I don't know her. That was funny to me. So then Kyle, in her confessional, was like, you know, it just makes me think, you know, what else are you keeping from us, Erica? And this, I don't know. I get that this is a reality show and stuff like this, but I'm going to stand on what I said earlier, because Kyle said it 15 more times about, well, she didn't tell us, and she didn't tell us, and she didn't tell us, and she didn't. Let's get a few, I just want to get two things clear. Number one, y'all are not really friends with Erica. Let's just put that on the forefront. The Real Housewives franchise, period, a lot of times the majority of y'all are not friends. Y'all are co-workers / associates, meaning y'all do this show together, and then when y'all not on this show, y'all probably see each other because y'all run in the same circles, but y'all are not friends. Y'all are not true definition of friends. Y'all are friends out of convenience. Y'all are friends out of the moment. None of y'all are really friends with Erica. Y'all are not. Y'all are not. So no, she probably wouldn't tell y'all none of this because y'all are not really friends with her. Y'all are not true blue friends with her. Okay? And even if you guys were, she does not. I think maybe it was Erica De Niro who said this, but the fact of the matter is there's plenty of married people who got best friends and don't tell their best friends about what the fuck go on in their marriage. Because guess what? It's not their business. Everybody is not in the business of telling their business. Okay? Everybody's not a Kardashian. Everybody is not an open book about their relationship and about their marriage and about their finances. I am one of those people. I say all the time on camera, bruh, for years, my best friend, my own mama didn't even know where the fuck I lived. The last apartment I was in, nobody in my family or friends had ever been in my place. Ever. Because I'm one of those people, I really like to keep everything I do to my chest. I'm not one of those people who like to go out and run my mouth and tell all my business. Me and my nigga could be broke up for a good year and a half and I still wouldn't tell anybody because that's the type of person that I am. Everybody is not the type to go around and open their mouth and tell their business about everything. And at the end of the day, what's most important, Kyle, is that you are not obligated to know. The same way because this is the thing, I'm consistent across the board. The same way I said that it was none of y'all business about what the fuck was going on with Denise behind her fucking bedroom, I feel the same way about Erica. It's not y'all business. If she wanted to tell y'all, she told y'all. She didn't. So get the fuck over it. Where am I at on time? I need to hurry the fuck up. So, long story short, because I really need to hurry the fuck up. They all pretty much get together because Sutton wants to get together with everybody. Sutton sits down pretty much at the end and tells everybody that, you know, she doesn't believe Erica. Because they talked about this picture that Erica had put up on Instagram about Tom's mistress and all this other stuff. But Sutton pretty much sits down and nicely says that she doesn't believe Erica without saying that. She just says, oh, I have questions for her, which there's nothing wrong with that. But the reason why I feel like Sutton's being a little bit hypocritical is because she said, even if Erica doesn't know, then that doesn't excuse her ignorance. Well, Sutton, you're the same person who said a couple episodes ago that there was 2 minor league baseball teams in your name and you didn't know. So should I excuse your ignorance? Because I said that I get that. You even said out your mouth, Sutton, that when you deal with a certain plight of men or caliber of men, there's certain things you're not going to know. So I am confused. Are we supposed to excuse your ignorance for not knowing that you had 2 minor league baseball teams in your name? What if some shit would have hit the fan with them? Would we not supposed to give you the same grace? Now, and I'm not saying that y'all got to go ahead and kiss Erica's ass, but I'm just saying, keep it the same across the board. I'm done, y'all. I really got nothing else to say. But that shit, I got more to say about Sutton later on. But I'm gonna stop for now. But all I'm saying is keep the same energy, Sutton. The same way you said that you didn't know about properties and shit in your name with your last husband, why is it now all of a sudden that you can't believe the same thing for Erica now that this article has come out?